Hello, this is Sakchun Bernard. Not long ago, I met a young lady who had gone through a painful past. I do not know much about her, but from what I gather, she has been thrown around, used, and abused physically. Presently, on the surface, she remains very pleasant, soft spoken, and appears a little subdued. However, when I got to know her, I discovered that she is someone who has plenty of resilience. She has college education and cares for a disabled man. Not only that, she spends time in nature, guiding people in understanding the different bird species at nature parks. On another end, I know of a colleague who has to care for his spina bifida child who is bedridden. He is a very unhappy man. There were times when he was literally swearing and cursing at God in public. His marriage broke up because of the trauma he was facing. You see, in life, we may go through trials of various sorts. Some are more painful than others. Look around and we see all kinds of chaos and sufferings in the world. When someone is stuck in trauma, it is very painful, and those around may suffer along. Then we question why anyone would want to turn to God, who allows for us to be in this accursed, broken world. We blame God. I took some time to figure out where the root of the suffering is from, because we can't just get angry and blame without logic or understanding. How suffering started was when Satan, through his pride, wanting to be greater than God, he influenced a host of angels to rise up against the omnipotent Creator. And this resulted in a war between good and evil in heaven. But Satan and his rebellion of angels were flung down to earth by Archangel Michael and his angels. You can refer to Isaiah chapter 14, verses 12 to 15, and Revelation chapters 12 and 20 to get some ideas. These are God's revealed truths without which we cannot know. But meanwhile, here on earth, God allows the fallen angels to continue their evil works of deception, causing sufferings. The reason God allows evil to exist among us is because of free will. He has given us freedom to choose between good and evil. This is why the devils are not locked up. Not yet. They are allowed to live the way they have chosen. Part of their works was deceiving Adam and Eve, our first parents. You can see that in Genesis chapter 3. The devil lied to them that going against God will make them be like gods. They caved to the temptation and rebelled against God, suffering the fate of being thrown out of paradise. But meanwhile on earth, we can neither see God or the devil because they are spirits. But they exist and are fighting amongst us to draw our souls over to their side. God, angels, and devils are real. Spiritual warfare is real. The devil, he wants us to think they are make-believe. Fiction, as my unbeliever's friend would say to me. The devil will lure us through worldly attractions like power, money, sex, to turn us against God by cheating, lying, and stealing. Another great test is in sufferings. The devil will swoop down, giving us thoughts that God is wicked and the cause of our pains. He wants us to ask, how can a good God allow good people to suffer? This manipulates our thoughts that God is wicked And this blinds us to God's goodness, prodding us to reject God. But remember, our wills are being tested. The devil wants to trip our minds and have us rebel. He is envious of us. He who is destined to hell. He cannot stand that we can go to heaven. He wants us to rebel and get tossed into hell. But we do not want to go to hell. We have rebelled in some ways and sinned. But Jesus, the Son of God, has put himself on the cross to persuade the Father to allow us back into his kingdom. He's dying on the cross as sacrifice. His plea for God to take us back to him. The devil wants you to laugh and brush this off as fairy tale nonsense. That's what my unbeliever's friend would tell me. But stop and reflect on this mighty act. God's ways are not man's ways. As proof of God's Son of God's Jesus sacrifice, look up online the Eucharistic miracles showing true flesh and blood of Jesus Christ. This is his proof of dying on the cross for us. Sinning with Satan's horde of fallen angels is a destination for hellfire, whereas believing and following Jesus gets us a place with God in heaven. This is serious stuff. So which do you choose? The devil's sinful ways or God's ways, which sometimes can be painful? I choose Jesus, the Son of God's ways. God bless.